Join me in showing lots of love for this guiding light of the literary world, the remarkable Rhonda Lawson.
Let's face it, motherhood is hard. Layer that with being a divorced mother. Layer it again with being a woman of color trying to raise another woman of color. And what you get is a huge souffle full of, I hope I don't mess this mess up. That's me. See, I was born the daughter of 2 Air Force non-commissioned officers. I grew up in a military environment and I had lots of friends of different nationalities and different cultures. But what I didn't have is a lot of experience learning my own culture. My mom taught me a lot about dynamics of race and racism, being a black woman in America, but we didn't talk a lot about culture. So when I left college and joined the Army, got married, I had a child, I wanted my daughter to experience her culture a lot earlier than I had. And like me, she didn't experience her first all African American high school until the 11th grade. And we were basically blackish, but in person. So, but she had a lot of friends of a lot of nationalities and different cultures, just like I did. But I didn't really notice it until I was stationed in Belgium, and for her 13th birthday party, she wanted to have a sleepover. And so she invited all of her friends over. She probably had about 10 or 12 girls, white girls, black girls, Italian, different nationalities. I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun. And they had a great time. But they tore my house up. I mean, my house was ridiculous. So I got up the next morning, I had to go to work. I said, girls, before I leave I have to go to work, but before you guys leave, I need you to clean my house. And they said, yes, Miss Lawson. You know how the girls talk. So they did. I came home, my house was clean, I'm happy. And so my daughter told me there was a little bit of an incident. So I was like, well, what happened? She said, well, I noticed that my black friends were cleaning and they were sweeping and putting clothes away, but my white friends were sitting on the sofa watching TV. So I said, guys, it's not fair, that it's only the way that she can say this. It's not fair that the black girls are cleaning and the white girls are watching TV. It looks racist. And the girls, of course, got upset and they said, are you saying we're racist? She said, no, I'm saying it looks racist. So in one hand, I'm like, okay, you called out what you felt was bad acting, understand. But I knew I was about to get some phone calls. So sure enough, one of the girls' dad calls me. He is a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. And he says, Rhonda, I understand that there was an incident at the party last night, and your daughter used a word that we don't use at our house. I was like, what'd she say? And, well, she said that my daughter was racist. I said, well, she didn't say that your daughter was racist. She said that her behavior looked racist, but I understand. And I did tell her that she cannot use these words. These words have a lot of pain to them. And you just can't use the word all willy-nilly. And she understood that. He said, you said that? I said, yes, I did. He said, okay, well, thank you. And so months go by. The girls iron out their problems. I don't see the parents that much, but they weren't the people I hung out with anyway, so it's fine. But one day I go into our base laundromat, and I'm doing laundry, folding clothes, minding my own business. You know what we do. And this same lieutenant colonel walks in. And I said, hi, sir, how are you? He said, hey, Rhonda, how are you? I said, I'm good. I said, you guys are leaving pretty soon, aren't you? He said, yes, we moved back to the States in about a week. Notice that I'm saying sir, he's calling me Rhonda, but that's neither here nor there. But so soon he says, so Rhonda, you're from New Orleans, aren't you? I said, yes, I am. You must have had a really crappy life. I was like, huh? No, sir, I had a great life. Well, I mean, your family probably struggled. My parents were in the Air Force, though. And so now I'm looking around and I feel like the entire room has gone silent. All I hear is the tumble of the washers and dryers. I feel the heat from the spotlight that's over me right now. And then I feel the heat from a laser that's right here. And I look up, and that laser was an African-American man who was standing in the back of the room, who was doing his own laundry, and all of a sudden he went, ah! So now I'm embarrassed. He's wondering what I'm going to say next. I'm wondering what he's about to ask next. And sure enough, he says, well, I just thought that, it might have been one of those cases where you had the opportunity to either join the army or go to jail. Really, sir? This mother is what I wanted to say. So instead, I just kept knocking down all of these assumptions that he was making on me based on my color and where I was from. And I just kept knocking them down with truth. And then I went home and told my daughter what happened. And she laughed. She said, you probably should have told him that you were on drugs and struggling in the streets until the army saved you. I said, that's her. And so I said, well, what I want you to learn from this situation is a couple of things. Number one, I have 3 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and I'm studying for my doctorate at that time. I'm a master sergeant in the United States Army. I have a wonderful daughter. We live in a very nice home, but all this man saw of me was the color of my skin and where he thought I was from. Do not feel that you have to live down to somebody's expectations of you. And the second thing is, what I want you to realize is that when people say ignorant things about you and make assumptions about you, you don't have to get mad, because what happens is, what you do is you start to confirm the assumptions that they made about you. And I don't want that to happen to you. So she took that lesson to heart. And to this day, she still has lots of friends of lots of different nationalities. She is a teacher teaching children of a lot of different nationalities. She graduated from the Clark Atlanta University, cum laude, might I add. And she is still doing very well. I finished my doctorate, and I raised a very well-adjusted young lady, and we are doing pretty well. I'm retired from the Army now. So I think that souffle that I was baking turned out